Well, we finally got a frost. It got down to, I think, 18 degrees here, but this is one thing that I'm so happy that I put in here. This basket of ivy, I'll put annuals in during the summer, but the ivy will be out here probably most of the winter. We'll see how long it goes, but should winter over, and it's just wonderful to have a hanging basket this time of the season. I spent Saturday planting bulb after bulb after bulb. They're still on sale. Put some bulbs in. Now, we've got two great jobs to do today. Follow me. We're going to wrap up that fig tree to start things off. Well, our fig tree gave us 3 ripe figs this year. I know people that picked 1,000. It depends on where it grows and what the season's like. Last year, we wrapped it perfectly, but we unwrapped it too late. And so this year, I'm going to basically duplicate the way that I wrapped it last year. We're going to use old floating row covers, which I've saved, landscape fabric, and then we're going to put a tomato cage on top and then fill that with straw. And that means that we need it to be about this tall, so we're going to nip off the very tops of this, and I'm going to take some of the side shoots off because we want this to be more of a column. And it's okay to do this. When it comes back, it will put out lots of new growth. I'm going to keep this one, and I'm going to lose that one. Okay, and I think that's about how tall I want it. I'm going to lose these bottom ones. Should probably try and root some of these. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll stick some in the ground and see what they do. Probably the wrong time of the season to do that. Okay, I'm going to tie this together, and let me go get the stuff we're going to wrap it with, and we'll get underway here. That's probably good. All right, that looks great, huh? Hopefully that's enough insulation in there to keep this fig tree happy for the winter. I've left a little bit open here. Just there has to be air circulation through here. And I think that'll be okay, but we'll see in the spring. Instead of taking it off in May, my friends that love growing figs told me got to come off much sooner, like late March, maybe even before that. We'll see what the weather's like, but we'll see what happens in the spring. Now next, one of my favorite jobs of the year, it's horseradish time. I hope you like horseradish because if you grow it, you'll never get rid of it. So why do we have horseradish in a perennial bed? A dear friend gave this horseradish to me over 25 years ago. He has since passed, unfortunately. And when I moved to this garden about 20 years ago, I just stuck a little bit in here because I wanted to bring it from my old garden just to hold the spot until I found the permanent place for it in the vegetable garden, which we're going to go to next to dig out. But no matter how much I dig out, there's always a little bit of that white root that's left behind, and it always has sprouted since. So there's nothing to this. If you're going to grow horseradish, as I said, know that you're always going to have it, but that could be a good thing if you love horseradish like I do. So we'll get down in there and see as much of these white roots as we can. See if we can get as many as we can. And you can see how deep those roots are. And I'll tell you, next spring, this will be back to sprouting. Okay. All right, I'm gonna head down to the vegetable garden, dig out the rest of this, and then rinse off the roots, and meet me over at the outdoor dining table. We're gonna grind some horseradish, and it's important to do it outside. So all we did was peel the roots in the kitchen, and there's enough horseradish power coming from here outside to make us start to cry. So we've got our horseradish, which most of it's been peeled. The young roots are really tender, didn't need to be peeled, but I peeled the other ones. Some water, some salt, and some vinegar. The water is just to get the texture where we want it. So we'll add our horseradish into the food processor. We'll add the water as we go. A little bit of water will help. So now you see why we don't do it on the inside. As this works, it's going to get stronger and stronger. And I have a trick at the end to make it as hot as possible. Okay, here's the trick. Now we let it sit for 3 minutes. And then we're going to add just about 2 or 3 teaspoons of vinegar, a pinch of salt, mix it up again, and it's ready to go. Then into an airtight mason jar. I actually like to put them in little mason jars, little jars, and give them away to friends because this is the hottest horseradish you can find. Nothing like it in the store. That's why we grow it. So I'll be back in 3 minutes. Oh, I'm not wearing a watch. Okay, by now the squirrels are all gone because you can smell this everywhere. We are going to add just a little bit of vinegar and not all of this. Just a couple teaspoons. That's about right. A couple pinches of salt. And I wonder, how do you use your horseradish besides making a cocktail sauce? Love to hear. All right, I'm going to put this into jars and then we're going to finish up. Whoa. Hey, I'd love for you to connect with me online, and I would love to hear what you're doing with your horseradish. Got a recipe? I'll post it there, and lots of other garden stuff there, stories and videos. Until next week, we've got a lot more of this to grind, and I think the squirrels are gone. The birds might be too when we're done. We'll see you then.